There are standards that govern the use of mineral fines in cement and concrete. One of them is ASTM C1797, which permits the use of limestone powder or ground calcium carbonate and other mineral fines in cement and concrete as a partial cement replacement. So it permits it, but it doesn't give any guidance as to how you would actually do it in a way that yields the right performance. There's another standard called ACI 211.7R, which talks about guide to proportioning concrete to incorporate ground calcium carbonate and other mineral fines in concrete. And what's interesting about this standard is that it defines what these materials are, and it mentions the effect on strength of the water to cement ratio and the water to powder ratio, but it doesn't really tell you how to proportion them. And as I said, in fact, it was ACI 211.7R that has those two scenarios where in one scenario, you're replacing the cement 1-to-1 with limestone powder and keeping the water the same, and you're losing performance. And the other example, scenario 2, is where you just add limestone powder and you get great performance, but you don't reduce greenhouse gases or cost. So I proposed a third scenario where you, as I said before, or say now, where you reduce the cement by a certain percentage, say 20 or 30%, you reduce the water by a significantly smaller percentage, but some percentage, like 5 to 10%, and then you incorporate ground calcium carbonate or mineral fines in an amount to maintain or increase paste volume. And that requires you to add more of those mineral fines per weight than the cement that they are replacing. And when you do that, you hit this sweet spot of strength. And it also still satisfies the two standards that I mentioned, ASTM C1797 and also ACI 211.7R. Another interesting thing that we've come across, kind of a hurdle, is that people say, well, we don't really have an extra silo sitting around for these mineral fines, so how are we going to get it in there? Well, there is talk about modifying another standard, ASTM C1697, which governs blended supplementary cementitious materials. And there's talk about amending that to permit the inclusion of limestone powder as a supplementary cementitious material when blended with other things like fly ash, slag, or natural pozzolan. And if that's the case, then we can envision a blended product that could take the place of standard SCMs, but that would incorporate limestone or other mineral fines into a single silo. And then we could redesign mixes based on that blend.